I'm Ridhiin Pancchmatia, founder of the Moneta and a Cannon EOS influencer. Over the last 9 years, I've shot 600 plus events in 18 plus countries. Mainly, I shoot music festivals and also Bollywood movies. I work with corporate clients as well. Music festivals is my first love in photography. And these are the festivals which I've shot for. Tomorrowland, which is world's largest music festival, I've shot for various artists since 2015 in Belgium. Sunburn Festival, which is the largest festival in Asia and also the most famous in India. I've been shooting officially for them since 2011. Perukaville, Germany, Storm Festival, China, and so on and so forth. Some of the festivals I've shot for the festival, some I've shot for the artist, and some for others. The images which I make for them, some of them are here. One of my favorite images is on the bottom left, tomorrow in Belgium. Also, Spring Wave Sunset in Taiwan is another favorite of mine. I also shoot directly for the artist, various kind of artists. There are stand-up comedians, there are DJs, there are singers. DJ Snake, who's really famous worldwide. I've been blessed to work with Indian artists also, like DJ Shan, Shirley Setia, Chetas, Lost Stories. These are some of the work and some of the people who I work from the music industry and the event industry. Apart from this, I also shoot for Bollywood movies and NH10, Hasi to Fasi, Ketu. Ugly was my first official movie. I'll talk about it. Unofficial movie. Ketu was with Nawazuddin. Pagalpanti was amazing experience last year with Anil Kapoor, John Abraham in London, and Anushka Sharma in NH10. Hasi to Fasi was the first official movie which I shot. To start with, imagine you're in a cold, dark auditorium, sitting with hundreds of others in the audience. Turn by turn, speakers come in and share their experience and knowledge with you. What do you anticipate? An idea, inspiration, or even learning how they did a particular thing. This was me 11 years back sitting in an animation seminar only because I was anticipating good storytelling. And I love listening to good stories. Also because my friends were sitting in the same auditorium. One of the speakers, who was an animator, demonstrated a light painting session. Now, light painting before this was utterly alien to me, and neither was photography, a medium, interesting for me. So, but evidently, this session became the point where the journey, the pursuit of learning photography began for me. Now, why I was sitting at an animation seminar and not an engineering or a medical seminar, let's rewind a few years. As a kid, I loved or tried playing tabla, flute, synthesizer. And the only instrument which I half decently played was guitar. Along with music, I also was fond of computers and technology. So when it came to the career choice, the obvious plan A for me was software engineering. And the plan B for me was music. Never did I ever dream of, not just dream or not even think of becoming a photographer or a cinematographer. So after 10th, I stumbled into science to get myself into a degree college afterwards, which changed. And for my co-curricular, I became a DJ playing at private parties at the age of 16. I made good money becoming a DJ and playing at private parties. But as the life events turned out, I did not qualify for the degree college in engineering. So I decided to leave the mainstream behind and learn animation to develop my creative and storytelling skills. And that is how I ended up sitting at an animation seminar in front of a speaker who spoke about light painting. For those who don't know what is a light painting, this is what light painting is. And this was my first attempt at light painting. The curiosity to learn light painting and how you can paint using light as a brush got me into learning basics of photography. My dad, after I did my basic schooling in photography, somehow was really impressed with me and gifted me my first camera. The first day when the camera came home, one of the friends who had made in my guitar class 2 years back was playing at a campus college in Mumbai with Kunal Ganjawala. So I decided to visit him with my new camera, with the all excitement to unbox and use my new first camera. I reached the gates of the venue. Now, 10 years back, photography was not so much in trend. So when I reached the gates of the venue with my camera, the official committee, the organizing committee thought I was the official photographer. So they not just let me in, they let me around the entire venue and also on the stage. I was self-invited. I did not buy a ticket, but I got to go on the stage because the committee thought I was the official photographer. Now, this was the first concert of my life. And I saw girls crying at Kunal Ganjawala's songs. I saw people laughing, getting on the bench and dancing. There was so much energy and so much emotion. I was enchanted not by the music, but by the visuals of it, the way people behaved, the way people reacted to music. And these are the images which I shot at my first concert. This is a friend who's laughing, who did not have a slightest idea that the image which I was shooting was blur. I did not know how to shoot properly. And no, not that my internet is unstable, not neither is your internet is unstable. The images are blurred and they are out of focus. So these were the images which I shot at the first festival, but I did not know how to shoot at a music festival or a concert. But for me, the energy and the vibe of it was unbelievable. So soon afterwards, I contacted a friend who used to manage a famous Indian indie band called Euphoria. And I asked him, can I come over and shoot Euphoria performing? He happily invited me over. Now, mind you, this was not to get myself the fame of social media uploads, to not shoot for money, and to not for the greed for getting the access of stage. This was only to capture the energy, the emotion, and the vibe, to play around with lights. So I went ahead and I shot the band a couple of times. Now this was as an audience, even though I knew the manager, I was shooting as an audience the entire event. Soon after, I tasted the blood. So I started going around different cities and different festivals as an audience just to shoot. The music can be anything, but I wanted to capture the vibe of the place. So I went to NH7 and different festivals around the time. Now with my curiosity to learn light painting, the same curiosity gifted me the technical skills to understand how light works. So the same technical skills and the social media presence got me my first paying assignment in photography with the Mumbai International Airport to shoot their unique art program. I was a teenager, one of the youngest on the team, working with prominent artists around the country. Now, the same art program is still available at Terminal 2 in Mumbai. And I'm really proud that at a young age, I got to shoot and archive and document the entire process. So after the Mumbai International Airport project completed, I was presented with another opportunity. One of my friend who was shooting stills for a Bollywood movie called Ugly by Anurag Kashyap, he had fallen sick. So he asked me, Ridhiin, can you go and replace me for a couple of days? and I happily went over. And that is how my journey for Bollywood, for shooting Bollywood also began. Funnily, it was the day after Diwali, Gujarati New Year, and the shoot was next to Kabristan. So when I went and asked the rickshaw guy to take me to Kabristan, he was laughing that subah subah aapko Kabristan jana hai. And that is where my journey for Bollywood, for shooting Bollywood began, next to a Kabristan. So over the 40-day schedule of shooting for Ugly, I must have shot for 3 days. When the movie went to Cannes Film Festival, the producers ended up using all my images for the brochure, for the movie brochure. These were the images which I had shot in 2, 3 days, and I had no clue what to shoot, how to shoot. I just went along with the flow. As it turns out, with that, the producers were happy with me and they helped me with another 2, 3 movies. They hired me for Hasi to Fasi after that. And I ended up shooting for 8 different movies for their marketing and their poster stills. Ghum Ketu and Queen, Hasi to Fasi, Ugly, Aniston, Wazir, Ribbon. Along with the movies and the music concerts which I attended as an audience, I used to participate in a lot of photography contests. And one of my photos was selected to be exhibited at the National Art Gallery in Hyderabad in 2011. I was amongst the 12 photographers selected in the country to have his work exhibited at the gallery. In 2012, Sunburn Festival posted on their Facebook that they are looking for photographers, and I jumped right in. I sent them the work which I was shooting for last 2 years, attending as an audience, and they loved my work. They got me to shoot their small events and smaller arenas right away. From 4 years back, being a DJ behind the turntables, I started shooting the biggest names in the music industry worldwide. How the turntables. This were the images which I first shot for a decently sized arena at Goa. DJ Guetta was playing. And as I mentioned, photography 10 years back was not so much in trend. So evidently music photography was far lesser in trend and people didn't know much about it. My struggle was to find a starting point. When you shoot fashion or landscape or products, you see so many photos and so many reference points around. This is 10 years back. I think Instagram was just starting. So even then, Instagram was not so widely used. So to me, I wanted to get a reference point. So I referred to international music photographers because in Indian industry, there was only one photographer who I knew who used to shoot rock festivals, rock music bands. And the way rock bands perform and the DJs perform, the entire setup is very different. So I went on to research on international music photographers. And the struggle over there also was the way the lights were internationally, the way the production was internationally was unique and was different from the Indian style. The way people engaged to the photographers was very unique and very different. Over the years, we have developed, and some way we are still the same. But for me to get the starting point and to make good images when you are hired and when you are paid to shoot and make the concert look beautiful was a struggle. So day by day, event by event, I developed myself. And soon afterwards, Sunburn got me on board for almost all their events and all their festivals. And I went on to shoot their festivals around the country. Now, these festivals, when you see, the music can be very different. I do not specifically listen to dance music all the time. I might have really few dance music songs on my phone as well. But for me, as I mentioned, the visuals were the key for me, the storytelling part of it. When you see the DJ playing a song and people put on their hands, people put on their flashlights and cry with the confetti, they look in awe. At events, you don't have any control. At music festivals, you don't have any control over anything, just like in life. The DJs, you don't know which song are they going to play next. You don't know how the audience will engage or react to the particular song. You don't know when the lights will go on and off and when the fireworks will go on and off. But the emotion of it, the energy, the enthusiasm, the vibe of it, it is like a candy shop for me. And I was a kid. Now, mind you, this wasn't my passion few years back. It was just what I saw and what I connected to. So soon after, I started shooting and touring with different artists for different music festivals around the country. And in 2014, with one of my really good friends, DJ Shan, I got an opportunity to go and shoot at China. And before that, in Hong Kong for a music festival. It's these festivals I connected with different artists and they loved my work. They liked the way I worked as well. And they called me at different places to shoot for them. And that's where the journey for Tomorrowland began. A music blog from India wanted to shoot the styling at Tomorrowland, which is the world's largest festival in Belgium. So they hired me to shoot the styling, the fashion treatment at Tomorrowland in 2015. Along with that, a few artists who I knew were playing at the festival. So they invited me over to shoot for them as well. And that's where the journey for Tomorrowland in 2015 began. Over the years, I've shot more than 100 artists directly for them, 600 events, as I mentioned. Now, these festivals and the energy and the vibe, the artists which I shot with, I hadn't connected to them few years back. This entire thing started for me with one single session, which was light painting. Now, not that I was anticipating to learn or to be inspired or to be motivated by anything. The entire reason for me to come back to the light painting is that I wasn't anticipating anything. The speaker before me, the speaker after me, or me, you might not connect or connect with whatever we say. But even if you take away one thing from the incidents which happens in your life and you cling on to it, you connect to it, you put on your heart, blood, and soul to it, somewhere down the line, you learn how and where to reach in your life. From being an engineer, from an aspiring engineer to become an animator, a storyteller, I became a photographer and a cinematographer. And this was the session. This is the image from the same seminar which I was attending and which I'm talking about. You can see me sitting right here. So again, imagine yourself sitting in one of the auditoriums. It's cold and it's dark. You might take away something and you should take away something. Thank you.